She's grown, she's bold, she's speaking her mind. A little dose of truth with a whole lot of shine. Hot topics, real life, no stressing. You tapped in now, it's a dose of precious.
Real talk, good vibes, and gems authentic. Welcome to A Dose of Precious. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share this with your friends, your family. Also, this is going to be streaming on all platforms that you can listen to a podcast on. So definitely go check it out on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and of course, if you're here on YouTube, hey girl, or hey boo. And this week has been a good week. I don't have any complaints. I know I don't ever give you guys much of an update, but if you know me, I'm a private person. So just know that this week was actually really a good week. And I got some new flowers. They're beautiful. These are so like... Okay, this one looks a little jacked up from my angle. Let's take this off. Okay. I'll keep that in too. These are so pretty, aside from what I just took off, that they look fake. They're so pretty, they look fake. But shout out to my boo. My baby. My boo. For getting me these flowers. I did really quickly during the check-in time. I wanted to talk about Gayle and Katy, Gayle King and Katy Perry going into space. I, would hate to be a conspiracy theorist, and I could be completely, totally, honestly wrong, but something in my spirit tells me that those bitches is lying and they didn't go to space. And if they did go to space, and, Gayle was like, we y'all are calling it a little trip, bitch. You know how many people can't afford groceries? I said this. I keep saying this. America is in turmoil, okay? Bitches can't afford... Sorry. People can't afford groceries. The groceries are high as hell. Like, they're high as fuck. Like, seriously. And you telling me that y'all done spent millions and millions and millions of dollars to go into space? To do what? None of y'all bitches is astronauts. Read the room, Gayle. Read the fucking room. In my Britney voice. And not too much on Britney and her voice. The girls have told me that I do also sound nasally. I think that Britney sounds more nasally than me. So that makes me feel better. I could be delusional. But I think Britney sounds more nasally than me. Her voice is annoying. If you don't know and you're lost, I'm talking about Brittany Edie or Britt Edie from Real Housewives of Atlanta. Anyway, we'll get to her. We'll definitely get to that bitch. Moving on. So now we're going to go into viral talk.
Viral talk.
The first topic that I want to talk about is the little fake beef between Waka Flocka and DDG. And I wanted to talk about this because I genuinely found this to be funny. Let me pull up the picture of DDG. So it all started, according to the girls. According to the girls, it all started when you'll see, it'll make sense why I'm saying girls like that later. But it all started when DDG was online and he was basically teaching young men how to find their girlfriends cheating. And Waka Flocka commented and was like, that's some girl shit. Or that's some bitch shit. I agree. There's this male loneliness epidemic. And I was going to talk about it, but I didn't want to give it too much airtime. Y'all niggas... So I'm not going to curse. Men need to do better. You want a girlfriend, you want all of these things. Oh, I'm a man, I deserve this, I deserve that. Be a better person and you'll have women. If you're an amazing man like you think you are in your head, if you're truly an amazing man, try to become the best version of yourself. Try to be a genuinely good person. Try to be a genuinely thoughtful person. Try to genuinely be open to learn new things and to experience new things, and to go into a situation knowing that you're not draining the other person, but you have something that you guys can exchange, like good energy that can be exchanged, and you will find somebody. I'm saying all of that to say that I think it's so weird that you have all of these men that go online and they make these videos and they tell the little boys how to act. Well, not even little boys, they tell the grown men too how to act and how to move and how to do this and how to do that. And what y'all don't realize, the people that are consuming this, if you're watching this, shout out to you, but you're lame. And he's just feeding off of your insecurity. I spoke about this last week when it comes to the dating coaches and specifically Black women. They are feeding off of your insecurities. They are using your insecurities in order to make money. They don't have pure intentions. If somebody is now, let me bring it back, right? I say all of that. I stand by everything I said. If somebody is cheating, I personally, this is just my personal belief, every time I was meant to know some information, it came to me. I didn't have to go searching for it. Now, that's just me. Other people, and I also have a woman's intuition. You kind of sort of just know. And then miraculously, the information pops up in front of your face. Have I gone snooping through a phone or two in my past life? I have, right? And so that's easy. It's simple to catch somebody cheating if they're cheating. But in reality, the information that you need to know will come to you. As long as you're not a stupid bitch. If you're dumb, you can't see the signs, it's your problem. Most of the time, you know when somebody is cheating. Anyway, whatever. I do think that's some girl stuff. What are you, a fucking detective? Like, that's weird. I have a friend who was like that. And, she was a spy. I remember one time I was talking to this guy. And, I mean, at the time, I felt like I liked him so, so much. And I was just like, yeah, like I feel like I know. You feel like you know somebody, but you don't know them. And she got on Facebook and she was like, "Oh, I see his mom. His mom is pretty." And da 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 da. And I mean, I didn't need to know all of that information that she found out. You want to know why? Because I knew that the person wasn't right for me anyway. You use your instincts. Listen to your instincts. Listen to your intuition, and then you'll know how to move forward. The point is, I agree with Waka Flocka. Back to the original point. I agree with Waka Flocka. You trying to teach men how to find their girlfriend cheating, that's girl stuff. What the hell? Teaching them how to be detectives? What the fuck? If you think she's cheating, leave her. That's it, period. And the truth is, if she a real bitch, and I don't want to snitch on my girls because I'm a girl's a girl, but you're not going to find out anyway. Y'all get caught cheating because y'all sloppy. It's simple to cheat and not get caught. I always want to keep an open mind, and I know that there is a specific aesthetic when someone is like truly into fashion. I also know that DDG considers himself to be like a fashion person, and so I mean, a part of that aesthetic is the guys wearing like those wide pants. I've seen that before, and then I've also seen the purses. So that's what I call it. A man wearing a purse. Do I think a man wearing a purse necessarily makes you gay? I mean, I want to say no. In New York, I mean, some of the girls were wearing their fanny packs. That was a thing for a while. That was a thing. The little fanny packs. Which is technically a purse too, right? The fanny packs that they were wearing around their bodies, they thought because it was Gucci, it makes it not a purse, I guess. I don't know. Or a merce. Remember that? Y'all don't remember them calling them merces? That may be too ancient for the young girls. I don't like that aesthetic. I do not like. I'm not into like the nail painting. I'm not into the dangly earrings, especially like, you know, like the crosses or the hoops. Not into that. I'm not into like the men having nose piercings. But I know that everybody is different. So for me, I never want to like mislabel someone and call someone gay or whatever. But there was a video that I recently seen. I follow someone who calls himself the DL Whisperer. Shout out to him. And he basically gives advice on, you know, helping women find, and I just spoke about this weird shit, but it's funny because it's the way he spins the content. It's not like I'm actively using the content to find out if anybody is DL, because I feel like, again, I have intuition, so I feel like I know, but it's funny. I think it's funny. Anyway, he made a video and he was like, he basically said, I think that DDG is gay. And so seeing that, and then right after that happening, this whole fiasco of him having this purse and him, you know, wearing the pants, and, you know, them just cooping it all together and saying, wow, he's gay, is interesting, to say the least. At least on my timeline, it's interesting that all of this like aligned the way that it did. Some men may say, well, he has kids. Just because you have kids doesn't make you not gay. And what's the name of that show that, can't think of her name, can see her, Zendaya is in. The name of the show when Zendaya is a crackhead. And there's the guy, the husband. And he ends up having a relationship with the girl that was originally born like a male. And he comes out one day and to his wife and to his family, he's basically like, I'm gay. And then we see the whole story of him having this gay experience in high school, and this is when he finally accepted, like, I'm a gay man. And then we then see how he had a girlfriend at that same time, and his girlfriend was pregnant, and so he chose to do the right thing. And essentially he was in the closet all of these years, but he knew that he was gay the whole time. So this man is a successful white male, right, who is in corporate. He's in this high position, he's making this good money, he has this wife who loves him so much, he has these family, the 2 boys, right? It's like the perfect family. And I'm doing quotation marks if you can't see me, this perfect family. And all the while, he's gay. He's gay. He loves men. Married, kids, all of the things that you think a man, quotation mark, would do. This man is gay. And so none of that means anything. I just, for the people who are going to say, well, he's not gay. He has a baby. That means nothing. It means nothing. Not saying that he is gay, I'm just saying. I just thought that was like crazy. Hated the fit, by the way. I personally don't think he's like the most attractive. I also know he'll probably think I look like a bag of shit because he's a colorist and he hates dark skinned women. But I just, you know, not my cup of tea. So I say that to say, didn't really like him with the dreads. I see he cut the dreads. Don't really like him without the dreads. Seeing the outfit, I didn't really think his style was all that anyway. And I, you know, still, I don't know what to think of this. But I thought that was funny, so I wanted to talk about that.
Girl that ever went to prom. Like, my boyfriend was 30 when I was in high school. I know my mother was crazy, but you know what? I would never ever let I mean that in a good way. Like, she was an artist. She was like, well, if that's who you love, baby. And he was so good to me and kind and like.
It's so funny because I'm gonna turn this year, my birthday is in July, I'm gonna turn 30. And I cannot imagine even dating someone And I guess because I'm a woman, but I can't even imagine dating somebody that was even a year younger than me. Like, typically, I at least go 2 to 3 years older. Why? Because, like, that's like, where I'm at this very, 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 very moment is not where I was at even a month ago. And it's not where I was at 2 years ago. And it's not where I was at when I was 25. And it's not where I was at when I was 23. And so I just can't imagine being 30 years old or being 29 years old at this very age and dating someone that was in high school. I think that's disgusting. And granted, her mom may have been like, if that's who you love, baby, because that's what she said. I still, from his perspective, you're dating a child, right? Because at 16 or 17, at 18, typically people graduate by 18. If you have like a late birthday or early birthday or whatever you call it. That's a child. That's a child. I feel like maybe now more than ever, just because of everything that I've been through, now I feel like I'm kind of sort of grown. But I just don't like the people that act like I'm so grown, I'm so mature. And maybe that's also, maybe me not having kids contributes to it. I don't know. I don't think so. I don't think kids make you more mature, honestly. I don't think age makes you more mature, honestly. But I just can't imagine at this age dating a child, is my point. And for her mom to just accept that is insane. But I guess we won't get into that. But that's not something that's funny. It doesn't matter that, oh, he treated you so well. Girl, you don't know. He probably was just getting you everything that you wanted. You know what I mean? Like, just, oh, you're so beautiful. Oh, you're so this. Oh, you're so that. Because that's what men do. And what type of substance did that relationship, I think that's weird, is my point. There's no way to explain it. There's so many questions that can be asked. But the moral of the story is, why the fuck would a grown man want to be dating a child? There's something off with you. I've dated older, and I'm always questioning, why aren't you with somebody your age? Oh, I could get somebody that's what they always say. Well, why aren't you with somebody your age? Because again, I said this last week, I'll say it again, it's probably going to get cut out, whatever. The bitches look good. They look good at 40. They look good at 50. They look good at 30. They look good at 60. They look good. The fuck good. And men age horribly. So they look better than you. What is the problem? And a typical woman is not having sex more. Well, nowadays y'all niggas don't get pussy. But what I was gonna say was, typically men still will have more sexual partners. So we can't be like, oh, she gonna be ran through. You know, that's stupid shit too. It's just, I don't even know what to say about this. Like, this is insane. I would never, ever, 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 never, ever, ever, in any circumstance, let my teenager that's in high school date a 30-year-old. If I know that man would be in jail so fast. Because why do you want a child? And why can't you date somebody your age? 30 is still so young. Oh, okay, I have a good story. I can tell this story. So, I am in college, right? Technically an adult in college, and this is back when I was heavy on Snapchat, and I had a friend. My friend went to a HBCU, and so I was always going to visit her. And you know, when you're out, you exchange Snapchats with people. Anyway, this guy ended up adding me on Snapchat, and he asked me on Snapchat, and he's writing me. I am infamous for ignoring men. You know, not very fond of you guys if you watched it. If you watch the podcast, not responding, you guys, ignoring him. So finally, I end up writing him back. So we're chatting, whatever. And still to this day, I don't know how he got my Snapchat, but that's, I guess, not the point. And he's like, oh, like, I want to fly you out. I want to do this. I want to do that. You know, typical old shit. Old nigga shit. And I'm like, but he wasn't old. Because if I was 20-something, he was probably only like, he probably wasn't even 30. He was probably like 28, 29. I'm like maybe 21. He's 28, 29. And, you know, he's like, oh, I want to do this. I want to do that, blah, blah, blah. He was a nurse. So he makes good money. If you know, you know. They sleep. I feel like a lot of people sleep on nurses, and you always think that only like girls are nurses, but nurses make money. Doing what I do now, I see what they get paid. They can make money, good money. And damn, what was I gonna say? Okay, so we're talking, and of course, age comes up, and so he tells me how old he is. I don't remember exactly. Again, he's like 28, 29, something like that. Still in his 20s, just late 20s. And later on down the line, I find out. Now, I never met up with this guy. He did want to take me out. He did want to buy me things, all of the things. Never met up with him. Never took any of his money. Nothing. But I ended up finding out that this man was married, right? I seen his wife, I think, and I seen that he had just had a baby. And that just really fucked me up because I'm like, damn, this lady just had your baby. And, you know, y'all are not that old. 28, 29 is not that old. If I'm in my 20s, you're in your 20s. Like, can't possibly be that old. I know that's a typical, like, young people would be like, oh, that's so old, da da da. You realize it's not that old. You're literally only a few years away. And I'm like, why would you want to cheat on her? Because she's still so young. She still looks so good. Even if she just had a baby, I mean, 9 times out of 10, she's going to lose that weight because of, you know, societal pressures on women. Why would you want to cheat on her? It just didn't make sense to me. And all I could think was, wow, he must be a lame ass nigga. Why did I come to this conclusion? The way he came at me immediately. He was nice, but he immediately like was trying to throw money at me, right? And the minute a man comes to you and he's throwing money at you, he may be rich. That may just be his lifestyle, because that happens too. But 9 times out of 10, he's throwing his money at you because he feels insecure in another, you know, element of his life, and so he's trying to overcompensate. And the way that he's overcompensating is, I know that I have this money, I know that women like money, which is true, and so I'm going to use this money in order to get the women that I want. And this money is also going to give me the opportunity to do what I want with these women as well, which is sex, of course. And I was just so fucking disgusted because I'm like, damn, that's not only is that messed up, but it's like, you're a lame ass nigga. And so I wanted no parts. I cut off all communication with him. And funny enough, I'd be interested to know where he is now, because he, you know, funny enough, he was cheating with multiple women. He told me that. He said, I do this all the time. I go on trips. I take women out. I buy them things. He was trying to buy me. This is how you know my morals is too fucking strong. Because this is before I ever bought myself like a real authentic piece of designer. And he was trying to buy me some red bottoms. And I was like, no. Why would I turn down red bottoms? Why would I turn down red bottoms? Anyway, moving on. The point is, you're a lame if you're trying to date somebody that's like super young. You're a lame ass nigga. And that's why you can't get somebody that's fine as fuck that's your age. Moving on. let's watch this video together and then we'll get into my thoughts.
And I had a radical heart shift from that moment. I got in my word, under my word. I just completely changed as a person. And I realized that God loves me, that God has a purpose and plan for my life, that God chose me, that I'm fearfully and wonderfully made. Yeah. So he would call me out my name. It wouldn't bother me because I allowed God's voice to be louder than his. And when I was going through transition of him not coming home on the weekends, not being there, telling me, I hate you, I'll never love you, I wish I never married you. Right. I knew that life and death is in the power of the tongue through the word of God. So I would say, you will love me one day. We will have a good marriage one day. And although he would go out for weekends, I would literally help him get ready to go meet a side chick by ironing his clothes and getting him ready for the night. And these are all things I was graced to do. I would not encourage anybody to do that unless you are graced by God to do this. But once I knew who I was, I realized,
first of all, let's look at the husband sitting there looking stupid as fuck, nodding his dumb ass head. Are you, what? I feel like men have, and I don't want to get into religion, but I definitely do feel like men have weaponized the Bible against women. I think they do it against children as well, but they especially do it against women. There is no way there's no I'm finding it. There's no logical explanation as to why a woman deserves to be called out her name while trying to love her husband. There's no logical explanation as to why a woman would be ironing her husband's clothes in order to help him prepare to go be with his mistress. There's no logical explanation why a woman would put up with this and then say, God gave me the grace to do these things. If you're God's child, right? And he's God's child, it clearly, your way of thinking is God wants him to be happy, right? He wants your husband to be happy because he's God's child. Why wouldn't God want you to be happy as his child as well? Why would God want you to suffer in this way? Why would he want you to go through this pain and this agony? I hate the narrative that people go through bad things because it builds character, or people go through bad things because God is trying to teach you this big ass lesson. No. If he's calling you out of your name, she said he's not coming home on weekends. I think there's a time and a place. You want to go out with your friends, wear doubts, you can go out. You still come back at a decent hour. What do I mean a decent hour? What's a decent hour as a grown adult? Let's say if you're in a relationship. This is my opinion. That staying out all weekend shit, that nigga will come back, the locks will be changed, all his clothes will be burnt. There'd be no home to come back to, bitch. Play with me if you want to. Right? I don't want to be that guy, but I'm just saying, right? What is a decent hour as a grown adult? This is me being super duper realistic, right? 9 times out of 10, I'll put myself in the shoes. If I was going to the club, right, you start getting ready, maybe 10 o'clock. By the time you get ready and you pregame and all of the, whatever the case may be, you get to the club, maybe it's 12, maybe it's 1, something like that. The club closes at 3. I feel like if the club closes at 3, a reasonable time, 3 a.m., a reasonable time to get home is 3:30. Maybe you and your friends stop to get some food or something like that. Maybe 4 a.m. You should be home. And this is not an every weekend thing. There's no reason why a man in a relationship should be going out every weekend. Maybe 1 weekend a month, maybe 2 if it's your friend's birthday, something like that. It's a celebration. You don't need to be out every fucking night. There's no reason why this man should be coming home and the sun is up. There's no reason why he shouldn't be home the whole fucking weekend. And you coming home, I could only imagine through the week, she probably still cooking and cleaning and doing all this shit for this man. And this man is out here living his best life with his side bitch. Are you dumb? Are you dumb? Are you fucking stupid? That don't even make no sense. That don't make no sense. Not even a little bit. Not even a little bit. And all of his stuff is still intact. I'm not really a fan of even destroying somebody's stuff, but at some point, where do we draw the line here, babe? Where's the line drawn? Cause you think that you going to go. This lady said, it's not even funny. This lady said, I was ironing his clothes to help him prepare to go be with his mistress. Now, how does that make sense? How? How does that make sense? How? Don't let these men use the Bible in order to trick you into being in a situation where you're miserable. In relationships, unfortunately, at my big age, I've learned that you're going to have to go through stuff. But that stuff is not like going through the gutter mud. That stuff may be miscommunication. That stuff may be, maybe scheduling. Maybe he works night shift. Maybe you work day shift. Like stuff like that. That stuff does not mean him beating your ass. That stuff does not mean him verbally abusing you. That stuff does not mean him, going out all weekend and coming in at 5, 6, 7 o'clock in the morning. That stuff does not mean you taking care of him like he's a child while he plays video games all day. That's not what that stuff means. And if that's what that stuff means to him, then you don't need to be there. Let that man be alone, or let some other dummy put up with that. You don't deserve that. You deserve the world and more. I don't know if she had friends. She probably did have friends. They probably did encourage this. If somebody is not treating you the way you want to be treated, I mean, there's no real reason for you to stay. I mean, I guess they're married and they have years in and stuff, but could you forgive something like that? I don't know if I could. I don't know. I haven't been married. I can't say. I don't know if I could forgive what they've been through. Maybe, probably not. I don't know. It's hard for me to get over shit, so I guess I shouldn't comment. But yeah, like, you deserve the best, girl. Don't put up with that bullshit.
Show recap.
So let's move on to show recap. So I told you guys, no matter what, I'm going to review the Real Housewives of Atlanta. This is episode 6, I believe. Or is it 5? I think it's episode 6. Yeah, I didn't change it. It's episode 6. We're just going to quickly go through the episode, and then we're going to talk about Kenya's confessions. So one thing that I don't like that they're doing with Shamia is they're making Shamia look like she talks so much during the confessionals, but when we watch her on the show, she's not talking that much. Like, y'all getting all her personality in the confessionals, which is cute and that's good, and you're supposed to do that, but I'm like, damn, can we see how she truly interacts with the other girls? Now we get to see her interact with Portia. Her and Portia have a alone time, and I think that that's great, but I mean, we don't really get to see her talking too much when it comes to her being in group settings. And I don't really like that because they keep making her seem like, oh, she talks so much, but she get around a group and now she don't got nothing to say. Hello, show Shamia, show her personality. We love her. We literally love her. Show her more. And the other thing that I wanted to say about Shamia is when she had the interaction or, the little game day with Portia, she was like, oh, I didn't want to bring it up because, Portia's going through a lot. And fuck Portia. I don't got a problem with Portia, but fuck her. Shimmy up. Put yourself first, girl. You are a superstar. You are so likable. You're so lovable. You're fine. You have a great personality. We all know you're a rich bitch, right? You're that girl. You're literally super talented. You have to put yourself first so that you can get further ahead in your career, period. I think that a lot of the times as black women, we don't want to be seen as that angry, assertive, aggressive woman, right? And it's like, no, it's no in between. It's either you're like super quiet and submissive, or you're like just aggressive and loud and all that. It's no in between. And it feels dramatic to say, but when you're in it, that's how it feels. Shamia, fuck them bitches. Put yourself first. Moving on. Portia, she speaks about her divorce with Simon. I don't know. Something is just off about the situation with me, honestly. I want to believe that Portia's hurt by this whole thing and that she was so in love with Simon Gobadia. But something tells me that, you know, she was chasing a certain lifestyle, and she's not hurt that the situation ended because she loved him so much. She's hurt that he lied and he's not who he said he was financially, and now she can't have the life that she wanted. Because like I said before, she wanted Shamia's life. Moving on. We can go to Drew. They made it seem like Drew lied about being related to Michael Jordan. Because I know how editing goes, I wonder if she did say it as if it was a joke, and she did say, oh guys, it's a joke, or if she was being dead serious and she was like, I am Michael Jordan's cousin. And because why the fuck would she lie about that on TV? This is what I'm trying to give you the benefit of the doubt, Drew, because all the girls say that you lie so much. But why would you lie about something like that on national television? Girl, if you did, you need to get help. You need to get help, because that means that you're a pathological liar. You need help if you lied about that on television. National television. Possibly global, who knows. Of course, Angela, because her husband is who he is and is in the NBA and has connections, she was able to contact, I guess, someone in Michael Jordan's family, and they said they don't know who Drew is. So I'm like, girl, why the fuck would you lie about that? Don't know. We get to see Kelly and her daughter have a moment. They basically speak about the divorce and how her ex-husband doesn't really want anything to do with her oldest daughter because that isn't his biological daughter. That's sad. That's disheartening. And I don't really know what to say about that. I feel like it doesn't surprise me. Like, that's something that I would expect a man to do, but it's fucked up because he raised her since she was 2.5. So you would think that, I would assume that he would be like, you know, try to be better than that. But again, unfortunately, it doesn't surprise me. And then we have Angela. So we know that Angela and Brittany has a moment at this little meeting. So we can get into that whole meeting and then we'll go into Angela's part that played into it. So we have this, I don't know what they called it, this little brunch or whatever where all the girls come together except for Portia. Portia was feeling sick, so she wasn't able to make it. And basically they end up talking about how Brittany is lost her license because of the whole Kenya situation. Angela ends up asking, like, on what cause. And I want to point out that when she asked that, it didn't really feel like she was coming for Brittany. It felt like she was just trying to get a better understanding of what the situation was. Now, this is the second time, in my opinion, where we've seen Britt misinterpret a situation to make it seem as if she's being attacked when in fact the person was not trying to attack her. She did it with Kenya when it came to the ring situation, and now she did it with Angela when it came to her just asking, like, on what grounds were they able to take away your license, because she also has a license in a similar field or the same field or whatever. And so Bray gets really defensive. She's like, are you not paying attention? Like, do you not know what's going on? And all of these other types of things. Britt, who is clearly a liar, then comes out and says, well, my license wasn't provoked, but it's under investigation or whatever. So they're trying to figure out what to do with it, which allegedly the streets is saying that the real reason why they're questioning her license is because of fraud and has nothing to do with her and her dick sucking videos. And it damn sure don't have nothing to do with surgery, so it was fraud. That makes more sense, honestly. What else did I want to say about Brittany? And honestly, that was the whole episode. The episode was boring. I am not really feeling this season. I am just like super turned off. I don't know if it's because, and I'm not even a huge Kenya fan, but just like the way this is playing out, in my opinion, I'm just not enjoying it at all. But anyway, Kenya dropped some confessionals. She dropped it on her YouTube channel. And, you know, she had a lot to say about the things. Some people thought the tea was piping hot. Others thought it was stale and cold. But we are going to talk about it today, regardless. So the first thing that Kenya addresses in her confessionals is that no one on the cast gave her the photos. I watched Portia's video that's posted on her YouTube channel, and she was like, oh, I know for a fact that somebody on the cast that's still on the show gave her the pictures. Kenya said that no one gave her the pictures, that these pictures were online, they were on porn websites, and that's how she found them. Now, what I will say is I watched another video, Jessie Wu, shout out to you, girl, and basically she was saying that if you watch the episode, which is true, there was one person that was not gagged by the information at all, and that was Ming Lee, and Ming Lee and Brittany have dated the same people in the past, and so, you know, that was a whole nother situation. It also went to the internet where Ming Lee did say that she does have explicit photos of Brittany, but those are not the same photos that were shown, and that she never shared those photos or whatever the case may be. What I will say is Brittany was a cam girl. Cam girl, is that what it's called? Where basically you chat with guys online on like a, you know, like a live type of thing, and essentially like you get naked, maybe you play, it's explicit. And so I would assume that doing those types of things in this era that we're in, it's very likely that although she may have had the internet scrubbed, that some things may have slipped through the cracks, and there is a avenue where there are, you know, still videos out there of her doing explicit things. And so I am not shocked that, being that she was essentially in the world of porn or in the world of sex work, that there would be those videos out there for anyone to access. All you got to do is get the right, you know, investigator or private detective or whatever they're called. Which Kenya said that she got. She said she got a investigator, a private investigator, a private detective, whatever you call it. Kenya then moves into the situation of her and, well, Kenya then moves on to the first interaction that she had with Britt. So we see that the first interaction was when the whole ring situation happened. Now, again, I am not a super Kenya fan, but I have watched Real Housewives of Atlanta several seasons. I mean, I think at this point I pretty much, maybe not the very first few seasons, but I've pretty much watched all of the seasons of Real Housewives of Atlanta. And so I got a good gauge on when Kenya is being shady. And when she asked about the ring situation, I agree that I didn't feel it was shady. I thought she was just genuinely being curious. And I think that Brittany was expecting for her to be one way. And when she came out as being nice and friendly, it just caught Brittany off guard. And so she's trying to like pick and find she was picking to find any single reason to have a problem with Kenya. And that's something that's typical of a lot of the newbies. They come onto this platform, they want to make a name for themselves, and so what do? They go after somebody who's the OG, who's a big dog. And if they are able to spar with them and go back and forth, that's a great way for them to solidify their spot for seasons to come. You have to be entertaining. If you're boring, they won't bring you back. The perfect example is Cynthia, right? Cynthia has been on this show for years. But the truth is, Cynthia went from a peach holder to a friend of. And that is not an accomplishment. That's a downgrade, essentially. You don't want to be that girl. Shout out to you, Cynthia. I like you, but you're boring. And so I think she was trying to make a name for herself, essentially. That's exactly what she was trying to do. There was a lot of other things that Kenya said, but the last point that I want to make, based off of Kenya's confessional videos, is them getting to the point that they're at, right? Kenya being suspended from the show for the rest of the season. Kenya also said that she was invited to the reunion and then she was uninvited to the reunion. She compared the situation to other situations on other franchises. Basically saying that there's been other scandals when it comes to like explicit videos, that there has been other threats that have been made, and in those times no one was ever like suspended from the show, no one ever had to stop filming, that things continued on as planned. Now, one of the reasons why I think that things played out the way they did specifically this time is, one, of course we know that, you know, Black women aren't protected, that typically these large corporations, these businesses, they don't give a fuck about Black people. They damn sure don't give a fuck about Black women. And so I think that plays a part in it as well. The next big point that I have is, because Brit, I don't know if you guys know this, I mean, I'm sure everybody does at this point, but she actually sued Bravo. I think that they did not want to be on the hook for any more money, a larger settlement. And so that is part of the reason why they said, okay, since she's going to sue, then we need to get rid of Kenya. And I also don't think that they intended to get rid of Kenya for forever. If they are able to bring back somebody like Phaedra, who accused someone of raping somebody on the show, started this whole big thing, right? And they brought her back. Honestly and truly, technically, Phaedra took a break from Real Housewives of Atlanta, but Phaedra was still on the platform. She did several other shows that are in the Bravo universe. And so I don't really think they give a fuck. I think the only reason why they did that is because they did not want to be sued for the big money. And so that's why things went the way they went. If Brit had not sued and she was just like, oh, I'm going to get that bitch back, they would have played everything. Kenya would have had confessionals. Kenya would have been on the show. She would have been at the reunion. And it just would have been a crazy ass season. That's how it would have went. But because Brit took the route that she took, because she's, I mean, at this point, an Atlanta bitch, and the Atlanta bitches is going to take any come up they can, and so they love to sue out here, and so, yeah, that makes sense. It's very on brand. That's why things played out the way that they did. And so Kenya, I mean, to some extent, people were saying that, you know, just sit tight and they'll invite you back on the show. I don't really know. Not, especially now that she's doing the confessionals, it's kind of feeling like a repeat of, or a sim situation of what Nene went through. And we know that I don't ever see Nene coming back to Real Housewives. I know she would probably like that because at this point she's slowly becoming very irrelevant. She's trying to like grasp onto things, but I don't think Kenya's gonna go out as like, I don't think Kenya's gonna go out like Nene, because I think Kenya has more like business savvy. She's more business savvy, and so she'll be able to get back on her feet. But I don't know. We'll see if they invite her back to Real Housewives, because this is going to a whole nother level at this point. But I do agree, Brittany was wrong. She should not have ever brought up a gun. A lot of people were trying to compare that situation to her talking about a gun jokingly in the closet with her friend, you know, insinuating that she would use it on Phaedra. But that's wrong, but that's still not the same situation as you being in a heated argument with somebody, emotions being high, and then you bringing up a gun in that very moment. That's still not the same. I mean, come on, guys, be so fucking for real. You could say semantics all you want, but that's just not the same thing. This whole thing is just out of hand. And I guess we'll see how things play out. I can't promise that I'll review next week's episode. Maybe I will, now that Kenya's doing confessions, and so that'll make it interesting to hear her take on how things play out. But yeah, this is crazy. Anyway, moving on to comment confessions.
Comment confessions.
This is gonna sound crazy, but it's the truth. A few years ago, things in my marriage were not great. I won't go into detail, but let's just say we were more like roommates than a couple. He had gotten comfortable, not just with me, but with life. No effort, no romance, just the same routine. And while I was busy keeping everything together, raising our kids, working, holding down the house, he was barely even present. Now, I'm not the kind of woman who just throws everything away over some boredom. I stuck it out for years, kept hoping things would change. They didn't. Anyway, my daughters, both grown now, started noticing how miserable I was. They asked me little things like, "Mom, when's the last time you did something for you?" Or, "Why do you look so exhausted after a date night with Dad?" It was subtle at first, but I could tell they knew I wasn't happy. Then one night, we're sitting around drinking wine, just talking about life. I let my guard down more than usual. I told them that there was someone at work who'd been noticing me. Nothing happened, but he'd flirt, compliment me, and yeah, I liked it. I felt seen. My youngest raised an eyebrow and said, "You deserve to feel like that all the time." At first, I brushed it off, but then it stuck with me. So one night, this man invites me for a drink. No pressure, no expectations, just a drink. And I was tempted. I told myself I wouldn't go. I almost canceled. But then I told the girls. I don't even know why. Just blurted it out like some confession. I expected judgment. Instead, my oldest goes, "Do you want me to keep Dad busy while you're out?" And my youngest said, "I can text you if he comes home early." I was shocked, but they weren't joking. That night, I wore a dress I hadn't touched in years. I looked in the mirror and felt like me again. When I walked in the bar and saw him look at me like I was the most beautiful woman in the room, something in me woke up. What happened after this is between me, him, and the hotel key card. I know how this sounds, I know how it looks, but sometimes you can go so long being invisible, forgotten, that you need something drastic to remember who the hell you are. And in the strangest way, my daughters helped me do that. No judgment, no shame, just understanding. Some say women support women, but my daughters, they held the damn door open. Wow. Wow. On one hand, being a girl's girl, I'm like, I get it. I get it. On the other hand, that's fucked up. Why would they help their mom cheat on their dad? That's so messed up. And I get that he is not there, and I get that he doesn't make you feel like a woman, and I get that he doesn't make you feel special or make you feel beautiful and all of the things. But I'm going to say the same thing that I would say to a man to you, girl. If you're not happy, leave. Don't cheat. Just leave. And I know that it may be difficult, but you're at the age where your girls are clearly grown. They clearly are, living their life too. And so I think that they will be able to understand that you deserve to be treated a certain way and you expect to be treated a certain way. And I don't think that they would be mad at that. Because I know that a lot of people stay in relationships for the kids. Don't do that. You deserve to be happy too. So you go out and you find somebody that can make you happy. And if it's not with your husband, then girl, go get you a new one. And if that one don't work, get you a new one. And if that one don't work, get you a new one. And if that one don't work, get you a new one. Who cares? I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share. And I hope to see you guys in another video or next week.